UNG head women's coach Buffie Burson joining the show today, slightly off target. And Coach, welcome into the show, and congratulations. I know it didn't end how you wanted it to end, but congratulations on a fantastic season.
Oh, thank you. We were fortunate to play this year, and then to have a chance to play to go to the Elite Eight again in the regional final was just such a great ending. Not the game, but just to be able to play for it was phenomenal.
So, Coach, you Lander kind of your nemesis this year.
Yeah.
You guys beat them in the conference championship game in a fantastic game. That game was incredible. Got to watch it on the video stream, but then you faced them again in the Elite Eight. What is it about UNG and Lander this year?
It's been that way for probably the past 4 years, maybe even 5. It's like every other game. Like we beat them, they beat us. We beat them, they beat us, and it was unfortunate that the last time we played was the regional championship, and we had just beaten them before. But I don't know. It's just I think our styles clash. They're extremely athletic and up and down and press, and they don't give you any space on the floor to breathe. And then we're a little bit on the opposite side of things, where we're a little bit more, execution style and half-court defense. And so it's just two styles clashing, and their coach does a great. Coach Pedersen does a great job, and it's just a really good rivalry for us, healthy rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like the old school style that you guys go. You've got Julianne Sutton. She was an All-American honorable mention. She's had a great career. Former Flowery Branch player down here in the Gainesville area, and those were some great teams with her. At the forefront. But I like the like you said, half-court defense. You use a half-court offense kind of thing, but you got some great guards, with Abby Franklin out there. When you say clash of styles, it's unusual kind of today to see a kind of an old-school kind of offense and defense.
It is, and I'll say like this year's team is probably our most well-balanced team. You talk about Julianne, being the conference player of the year last year, and with all her accolades, and just having people just game planning around her, having to, and then just the guard play, like you mentioned, with Abby Franklin, with all her experience and her ability to shoot the ball, from the outside and be able to play make around Julianne, and then Caroline Martin from North Forsyth, and I could go on and on. Lacey McCoy coming in from Cherokee, just so many players that have contributed this year. On any given night, anybody could score 15 to 20. And I think in our semifinal game in the Peach Belt, our freshman Caroline Martin scored 35, and Lacey McCoy scored 25. And that wasn't Julianne, that wasn't Kara Groover, and that wasn't Abby Franklin. So just a well-balanced attack. And like you said, our style is definitely a little bit old school, but I'm a little bit old, so.
Oh, we would never say that on camera.
Well, Coach, I mean, you look at your stats. I mean, your team averaged around 77 points a game, and your defense was 62. So you did have a really well-rounded, balanced attack.
Yeah, I was looking at that recently, the Peach Belt stats, and I knew we were scoring quite a bit. I didn't know we led the conference, so I thought that was really cool. And then we led the conference in assist and assist turnover ratio, which was something we've been working on through the years. I think this is probably the first time that we've averaged 15 or less turnovers. I think it ended up being like 14.9, and then our assists were like around 18 a game. So that was big for us. And again, that's just a lot. That's a tribute to our players and just how much they shared the ball, and that's what this team was all about this year. And I do think, the pandemic probably had a little bit to do with that. We grew really close as a team through all that, and going through the adversity together. And I think that had something to do. It trickled onto the court.
I was looking at the stats on this. You said you were surprised. I was surprised. I was expecting to see Julianne averaging, like a double-double for the season. I mean, she was your leading scorer at just 16.1 points a game. And that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but you got like 5 or 6, 7 girls. They're all averaging, like 7, 8, 9 points a game. And then you start to add all that up. That's a lot of points being scored, a lot of distribution. You got a lot of weapons out there at the same time. And, you mentioned Caroline Martin. She's just a freshman. How good do you think she can get?
There's no ceiling for Caroline. She can do a little bit of everything. I heard what I was so impressed with, watching her in high school was just her ability to get downhill, and she's so explosive at the basket. And I think her first college game, I think she shot 10, 12 free throws attempts and fouled out, half of I think Augusta's team, and just was like that was her, opening game. So I think the sky's the limit for her. She can shoot the three. Her own ball defense. We're usually putting her on the other team's best, most athletic guard. So she's doing it on both ends, and her motor is so high. Like I've never seen her tired, and just I can't imagine it. And to go back to what you were saying with Julianne, averaging 16 and everybody else around 10 or 12, 9. There's so much that Julianne's had to do through the years and drawn so much attention. And I look back on our best teams, and our best teams were when we had people not averaging, 20, 25 a game. So just impressed with our overall, ability to share the ball.
Well, Coach, you look at this. It seems like you've been at UNG for forever.
Wait, did you just? She said she didn't want to be called old. Did you just call her old?
No, I didn't call her old.
Okay, all right,
no,
that's good.
No, but
wow.
But Coach, you posted 21 winning seasons. You look down at your roster. You've got a lot of local players on this roster. It seems like UNG women's basketball is you've built it into a destination for the area's quality athletes. How have you done that over the years?
I love the family atmosphere and people being so close and being able to come to games. You mentioned Caroline. I think if we would have allowed 1,000 people in here, she would have probably had 500 of them for our games this year. Just everybody being local. All our players bring in a lot of their family members, and just the basketball in the North Georgia area is just so good. And it's great for us because we don't have to recruit that far. Mm-hmm. And the players want to come here because it's such a great school, and there's so many winning programs and winning coaches and that have, long tenures here. And our administration is so supportive of student athletes and put them first. It's just a great fit. And so I give all the credit to just the University of North Georgia, just being so attractive from the academic side to the athletic side. We just attract really good players, and I'm so grateful for that.
Well, you mentioned just now about the talent, staying close, and there's a lot of talent in North Georgia. I mean, just from our coverage area at Access WDUN, you've got Tajay Blackwell, who I think, was rehabbing a couple injuries this year, so we really didn't get to see much of her. You had Abby Franklin that was at Jefferson. You got Julianne Sutton that was from Flowery Branch. There is and I know you have a girl from Fannin County. You mentioned Cherokee. All of those would be considered Northeast Georgia talent. How good is, when you say the basketball is good in this area, how good could you just recruit, 15 girls from North Georgia area and be able to go out and compete on the national level?
Yeah, well, we have, and we were putting our team camp together, and I was just going through this past year's roster, and I think I said 11 or 12 last year's roster, or had attended our team camp. So that means they're local. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think we could. And I think that Elite Eight team, we had somebody from North Carolina that started for us. But other than that, it was all, the local talent around here. So, and they come and they're hungry and they want to learn and they keep developing and they stay. And I think that's a big part of it. They're not bailing. They like, when they get here, they like it, and we were able to develop them. So.
Well, Coach, NCAA tournament, the Division I women's tournament. You said you picked UConn before we went on the air. Of course, that's that was a good pick. But you had Arizona and Stanford in the finals. I was pulling for Arizona. I know you said you were, Jeff. Were you pulling for Arizona?
Yeah. I was going to say, did you do better in your women's bracket or your men's bracket?
I did better on the women's. I always do so much better.
I would see you have a handicap right there. You have a handicap. You know them better probably than we do.
Right, correct.
So
men's was just so unpredictable.
Oh yeah, talk about that championship game, Arizona Stanford. Your thoughts on that, the end of it, and how it went.
Yeah, I thought it was a phenomenal game. I wasn't quite sure, after Arizona having the emotional win, if they were going to have a letdown. And they just kept battling back and kept it, that last possession everybody, the players at both sides of the ball said it's going to, Awtrey, and it did. And, she would have just looked down at the basket or tried to split those trees from Stanford. She might have could have hit the cutter right there, and they could have won the national championship. But that's hindsight. And I watched that clip like I'm sure everybody else did a million times, but she needed to take the last shot, to be quite honest. I think that's what her team felt like, and she deserved to take that last shot, and almost went in.
Yeah, it did.
Went in.
What are you drawing up in that instance?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. When we've won games on last second shots, It's been our most basic play, and just trying to whoever has the best option at that time. When Amber Schedule hit those 2 threes, the back-to-back seasons to win championships and to send us in the regional championship, it was our most basic play. So that I would probably go something that they're most comfortable with, and just let our playmakers play. But I think Arizona did right going to Awtrey. She deserved to take that shot.
Well, Coach, we wanted to talk to you today, just kind of bring everything together. The Division I season has ended, so but we just want to talk to you about your program and how much you've done with it over the years, and what a fantastic job that you do up there, and the program that you've built at UNG. So kudos to you, and thanks for taking some time with us today.
It was my pleasure. I enjoy talking with you guys anytime.
And I don't know about you, Bubba, you look like you got many, many years left in you.
I hope so. That's the plan anyway. That's the plan always. Thank y'all.
All right, thanks. UNG head women's basketball coach Buffie Burson joining us here on the show today. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Jeff, it's Masters Week, man.
Oh, thank God.
What do you think about that?
Oh, I love Masters.
Masters
That's
is so
my favorite tournament, golf tournament of the year.
It is.
Either that or the British Open.
I'm going to take the Masters. You've never been, though, right?
Rub it in.
Sorry.
Wow.
I've been once.
God.
And I have the video.
Man, that hurts. I mean,
not
that
the video,
really
but
hurts.
the photo on the wall.
One time I covered a high school basketball tournament down there, and I got to drive by the gate.
Yeah.
I really thought about just jumping the gate. I did. I was like, I don't care what happens. If I can just run around on 16, they can come and arrest me.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Masters, as it officially begins on Thursday, Stan Awtrey is with us this afternoon, talking a little bit about the Masters. And Stan, you know all about the Masters, I know.
Been there once or twice, and I would warn Jeff, if he ever tried to jump the fence, they would never find his body. He would disappear. There'd be no trace of him ever.
What a way to go, though. What a way to go, Stan. I mean, seriously. I now you got me thinking.
It's funny that one year, like 100 years ago, Bob Horner and Jerry Royster and somebody else just drove up there, and hey, we're Atlanta Braves. We want to play golf. We show up to the Masters, show up at Augusta National, and the guard told them they were welcome to turn their car around in the driveway and depart at once. They were not welcome.
Oh wow! So Bob Horner, 4 home runs in one game, not good enough.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Wow,
that's right.
That's tough. That's tough.
Well, Stan,
yeah, well, see, the guy who owns the equipment company, he's a member there. So they have big shots that belong. They don't need ball players.
Stan,
ooh, wow.
Stan, what's it like over the years covering the greatest golf tournament on the face of the earth?
Well, not only is it the greatest golf tournament, though, it's the world like the Masters. And you say, well, Super Bowl's pretty good. Nah, not close.
Pretty good.
World Series is cool, not close. Olympics, we covered Olympics. It's nothing's even close. The Masters is by far just the best thing ever.
Well, I could, and that's why I want to go. It's the only thing I haven't covered, Stan, in my years of journalism is the Masters as far as major events. I mean, I've been to some Braves games, covered some Braves, some Hawks, some Falcons. I was at the MLS Cup. I've covered national championship games, never been to the Masters. So that's why it hurts. But do you have a personal tradition when you go down there, something you do every time that you're able to go down there in person?
Well, the one thing I like to do is go get an egg salad sandwich.
Mm.
It comes in a green cellophane wrapper, and it costs like $1.25. I mean, it's just people can't believe that you can get food at Augusta and at such price. And I can't tell you, it's just really good. And
they can charge
extra special knowing you're you're near there at Augusta National, so it makes it even better.
Look, you can get that. You can get that for $1.25 when they charge you $3 million for a 30-second spot on TV. So they can make it up in other ways. So it's.
I've never paid for a 30-second spot.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I would stick with the chicken sandwich. That's what I would do. So is there anything? That's the first thing you do. Do you just go down and walk the course? Are you allowed to walk the course? If you're press.
Yeah, you can pretty much go anywhere. And the exception at Augusta National is you can't go inside the ropes. You go to a typical PGA Tour event, and you can get credentialed to go inside the rope with the players, and you walk around get around the crowds and stuff like that. It makes it a lot easier. You can't do that at Augusta. The only people inside the ropes are the caddies and the players and the officials that are actually, working the tournament.
I covered
yeah, you can pretty much go anywhere.
Wow. I covered the Atlantic Classic a couple of times, and I rode around in a cart, and we followed the group. Then when it was over at Indian Hills, in the country, Indian Hills Country Club over there in Marietta.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's way back.
So you got a cart.
Well, that's what they gave us. I mean, I guess you could walk or do a cart, and I chose a cart.
I'll take the cart.
He said that like a question.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not like John Daly. He takes the cart.
Yeah,
he also weighs 400 pounds.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, it's something really cool. The Monday that the tournament starts, that they open the first day that they have practice rounds. That Monday, the course is so beautiful, and because nobody's been there, it's not trampled down.
Right,
the grass is perfect. All the flowers are blooming. And that's just a great experience that anytime you get a chance to go is special. But Monday before people are there is really, really good.
Look, I'm small.
It's pretty nice even on Sunday afternoon.
Look, can you put me in your pocket the next time? Can you smuggle me in? I'm kind of small. I could fit in.
In his briefcase.
Maybe your shoulder.
I'll see what I can do.
Anything, Stan. Look, it doesn't matter how cramped I get. I'm good.
So, Stan, you're covering the tournament this year, but from afar, right?
Yeah, they still have some limitations as far as the COVID-19 restrictions and all. So even though the media center is huge and holds, I don't know, a couple hundred people can get in there, they're limiting the access to the building. So the AJC has two people who can get in the building. So that's Steve Hummer and Chris Vivlamore, who is the sports editor. And there's another 3 or 4 of us that are covering remotely from outside.
How are you doing that?
Real easy they make it real easy. They live stream all the press conferences. You have transcripts. I would never let them know it, but you could almost do that every year. But,
I would not let them know.
We like being there.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's much more fun. Do you have a favorite hole?
I love being down at Amen Corner, which is 11, 12, 13. I think 13th hole is my favorite. It's that par 5 that dog legs left, and a lot of stuff can happen there.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of stuff has happened there. And so to kind of park yourselves down there and watch the action there as players go for the green or go down by the green and watch them try to putt that crazy green, it's a lot of fun. Any place you go there is really good.
What's your least favorite hole?
I don't have a least favorite hole, but there are holes that are more difficult to get to, as far as you're walking to get to them. So, but there's not a bad hole or really a bad place to watch that tournament.
All right, so who's the favorite this year to win the Masters?
It's a great field this year. A lot of great players in the field. My personal guy that I'm taking is Justin Thomas. He's not won there before. He's won one major. He's a kid, grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, went to the University of Alabama. He won the Players' Championship about a month ago and played great. And he's in really good form. So he's the guy I like. He's one of those guys that Southern guy, and he gets the whole Masters thing. And I would be surprised if
you mean there's some
before he's done.
You say that like there's some golfers that don't understand the Masters thing.
There are.
Really?
And those are the kind that should never come back.
Is there any names you want to throw out there, or better not?
No, I think all the big guys know. I think you could talk to Phil Mickelson, and he talked about it yesterday for a few minutes. And the guy's won everything, but Augusta National is special to him. And it was his first side of his first major championship. And it still means a great deal to him. If you talk to Tiger, I mean, he loves the place. And I think anybody down there, with the exception of maybe some of the British guys, if they had to name one tournament, one major championship that they wanted to win, it would be, if they were honest, It would be the Masters.
Well, you got Dustin Johnson, who's a defending champ. Justin Thomas, you mentioned, excuse me, Xander Schauffele, John Rahm, Patrick Reed, Georgia guy. Jordan Spieth, who's probably my favorite current golfer. Then you got DeChambeau and Rory and Webb Simpson and, Lee Westwood, who's never won it. There's a Bubba Watson, another Georgia guy who's won it. These are being mentioned as guys that have a legitimate chance. Do you agree with that?
I would agree with that. And one thing about Augusta is if you've played there the first time, it's really difficult for you to understand all the nuances and the contours of that place. Once you've been around a few times and you start making mental notes and learning from your experiences, then you've got a much, much better chance. So any of those guys you mentioned are certainly going to be in the hunt. This is not a great place for a rookie to win. In fact, it's only happened twice in the whole history of the Masters, and once was the first time they held it, so it had to be a rookie.
Well, Stan, what do you think about Tiger Woods with his the accident they had and the major injuries? Do you think they're going to be a lot of talk this weekend about Tiger Woods?
I think Tiger will be on everyone's mind. Number one, because he's such a presence there, and he's won it so many times. And his victory there 2 years ago was so good, and it was so memorable, and it was touched a lot of people. So a lot of people will miss him just because he's not there, and the players miss him. In fact, Justin Thomas said yesterday that he lives near Tiger in Florida, and he's been in touch with him and has been over to see him. And they love this guy. Justin Thomas told him, "Hey, look, you need me to come watch the kids in the afternoon? I'll do that for you. You need me to make a McDonald's run for you? I can do that. I'll go pick up a Big Mac at the drive-thru." So he's on a lot of minds, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some red shirts on Sunday in his memory.
Stan, we appreciate you joining us today and taking some time out of your schedule, and looking forward to reading your writings this week.
Well, you can look for us all week in the old AJC and the AJC.com.
Can you get us a sandwich? I know you're not going, but there's some way you can smuggle us a sandwich.
I don't think you're going to want to eat the egg salad sandwich the week after it's been. That may be a little rancid, even for you, Jeff, and I've seen your appetite.
All right, Stan, we're going to end it on that one. That's a perfect ending. Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks, Bo.
Thanks, Stan. Appreciate it.
You too.